Have you ever thought that learning history is difficult? Or has anybody told you it's a very tough nut to crack? Not anymore. With myself, Chakravarthy at Abhiram IAS Academy, we are going to simplify the pattern of learning world history, which is my subject. We will guide you according to the exam pattern, keeping in view the short span of time available for mains. We have designed the course in such a way that we will be completely covering all the important core areas for the world history, and we will finish it up in a limited span of time, and we will also guide you with the support of mentors here in order to get the highest possible marks. Therefore, I welcome you to Abhiram IAS Academy for your world history classes. And now I would like to tell you one important point, that should we study world history, because in the last 3 to 4 years the questions coming from world history are very less. However, the unpredictable nature of the UPSC makes it very clear that we cannot take chances. Therefore, it is important and relevant every year to cover this very important topic, because reading world history will also give you an insight into the contemporary world politics as well. Therefore, world history is not just world history, it is also a study of geopolitics, and it is also giving you a overall view of what exactly the current world is. Therefore, it is important from both history perspective for mains as well as for the current affairs perspective also. Therefore, I am going to cover the entire syllabus by linking it with the contemporary issues, that means current affairs as well, and in this way you will be thoroughly trained and prepared to be ready for this exam itself. Okay, right. Now I am going to give you a very small briefing on how we will approach this subject itself. The syllabus is covering that from the middle of 18th century, right? So obviously we are going to cover this especially from the French Revolution, which started in 1789, until contemporary world. Generally we will be covering up to decolonization and other aspects. You link it with the current part as well. So here, if you see this, the French Revolution of 1789 unleashed the forces of democracy in Europe, where the most of the continent was ruled by monarchies. These democratic values were spread to different parts of Europe by Napoleon Bonaparte. However, the monarchies fought against this, but the wave of democratic values like liberty, equality, fraternity were very much attractive to the people, so they engulfed all these and they started to demand the similar governments in their countries. Therefore, now new countries emerged like Germany and Italy, and they started to compete with the old imperial powers like Britain, France, Russia and all. And this led to clash for colonies and clash for trade also. In this process, they began to suspect each other and they began to form plans and counter plans against one another, and this created global imbalance, which resulted in the occurrence of two deadly world wars. World War I in 1914 to 1918, and post 1918 the European powers, like the victorious powers like Britain, France, they tried to corner Germany, but Germany began to revive under the leadership of Adolf Hitler. So here the rise of Hitler changed the political balance of Europe, and Hitler started to conquer many parts of Europe, and this again led to another catastrophic clash, which is known as Second World War from 1939 up to 1945. As a result of this, the imperialistic era got over directly and many new countries began to emerge. This process is also known as decolonization, and this continued for long. many countries emerged independent like India in 1947. We know that. However, the European countries began to approach the newly independent countries in the name of supporting them in providing development. However, another force which emerged after the end of 1945 was communism. And this led to a new clash between the capitalistic forces as well as communist forces, and this resulted in the birth of Cold War. By 1991, because of the decline of Russia, USSR, the Cold War got over and the world became unipolar under the leadership of America. So till that time, if you cover, then you'll be covering most of the world history. And however, I would like to tell you one thing, that while covering the world history, we'll be linking with the current affairs as well. Therefore, you will get a very broad insight into the content, and it will definitely help you to write the best answers. And here I would like to invite you to join Abhiram IAS Academy, and myself, Chakravarthy, going to deal with world history part, right? In a limited span of time, I'll be giving you questions, and I will also discuss how to write answers as well, and I will give you the feedback on the answers you are writing. I'll give you how to introduce the content, and I will also give you the main body and conclusions as well. Suppose while dealing world history, we will be linking that with modern India as well. Suppose you take 1857 revolt in India, and how we can link it with 1789 French Revolution. Suppose American Revolution was there. So there are some things which we have to take from American Revolution, which were implemented by the moderates in the early phase of Indian nationalism. So like that, there are so many comparisons which we will be making while doing the world history. For example, we will also compare Mussolini and other leaders' ideology in India. And we will also cover unification process, revolutions in world history. There are 4 revolutions: American, French, Industrial Revolution, Russian Revolution. Of course, Chinese Revolution is there, but generally we get less questions also. So I am going to discuss all these revolutions and interlinkage of the world history with the modern history, so that you will get a very broad connection. For example, if you take World War I, 1918 it got over, but 1919 in India there was a movement known as Khilafat movement. It was linked with non-cooperation. So there was a clue from World War I which we have to take while reading the modern India part also. So I will connect these things, and I will enlighten you how to improve your understanding on a broad perspective, and it will definitely give you a subject at your fingertips. So here we are going to provide you the best subject as well as the best possible way to enhance your marks also, because after all in the UPSC exam, it is mark which is going to give you the selection. Therefore, our focus will be on how to improve your presentation skills and how to choose the best words explaining the entire scenario, and how to grab the best marks from the examiner. In this way, we will guide you, and we will definitely get you the best marks, and we will try to give you the selection as well, provided you work on the given lines. So thank you all, and wish you good luck from my side. Thank you.